For me, I believe it is a discipline thing, but that it can very well be my privilege. It's not, I have the means to be able to do it if I want to.
Hello everyone, Half Jojo back here again, and today I saw an interesting video pop up on my YouTube feed. A video called "Is Being Overweight a Choice? Gym-Goers versus Body Acceptance" by the YouTube channel Counterpoint. It's one of those styles where you get two people from each side kind of debating back and forth kind of thing. For context, right, I used to be really morbidly obese, but now I'm not, and make videos about general health and fitness and fat loss and everything in between that kind of space. And I wanted to watch it and see what they have to say, see if there's anything I agree with, disagree with. As someone who's been on both sides of the same coin, as someone who's been to the fitness side and someone who's been morbidly obese. And ironically, I've got on one of my t-shirts from when I used to be really, really fucking big. This is my my Dragon Ball, my Broly shirt. It's actually a basketball themed one. I don't watch basketball, but it's Minnesota Timberwolves. I'll show you the full thing. It's like a 3XL type shit. Forgive my other fit. My clothes look like shit, but that's just how big the t-shirt is. I'm pretty sure this used to be strained on me back in the day. Like back in the day, my belly was like out here. This shit was like fucking pushing against it, but it's huge. I could fit like 3 of me in here now. Like, look at that snatched fucking waist. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into this video and see what's going on, see what they have to say, see if I agree or disagree with both sides. Also, forgive me if I look a bit tired. I've just finished some work for today, so I've just finished that and I've jumped onto this. But anyway, let's get started.
People that do not go to the gym or have like a healthy lifestyle are lazy. So far from beyond what I actually live.
I work 14-hour days and I still manage to go to the gym. It'll take a toll on my...
Jesus Christ. That's insane though. Like working 14 hours, I don't know about you guys, but if I work anything over like 8 hours, I just become unproductive and just can't focus on anything past that point.
Sleep sometimes, but I have to be willing to take accountability and say, I was lazy at this.
I know a lot of fat folks in my sphere like to reclaim the word fat instead of using words like morbid or obese. They prefer the word fat, and I prefer the word fat because it describes what I am, not a category that doctors are putting me in to describe how sick I am.
Yeah. Like someone isn't going to describe themselves as morbidly obese or something like that because it makes them feel like shit, right? Like it feels like they're putting themselves down in a way.
Welcome to Counterpoint. I'm your host, Ryan. On this side,
hello, Ryan.
We have gym-goers, and on this side, we have supporters of body acceptance. Being fat or skinny is a choice.
It is a choice. It's literally like a choice. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all have points where we fall down and everything like that. We all have times where we go off plan. We all have times where we fuck up. We all have times where we might eat too much or stuff like that. We might put on a bit of weight. We get depressed, stuff like that. But it's still ultimately a choice. Like you can just not decide to eat and everything like that.
So I was a wrestler my whole life, constantly dieting my whole entire life. I mean, at this point now, I'm not wrestling anymore, so I don't have to worry about it as much. But I think it just comes down to the fact of it's just a calorie deficit. You want to consume less than what you're burning. Some people might have it easier. I'm not saying that. Like some people might find it harder to lose weight. Some people might find it easier.
In your experience with the wrestling thing, did you always lose weight when you went into a calorie deficit, or was it different each time?
100%. And it might have been a little too extreme to where it got to the point where it might have been a little unhealthy. But,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone who's diet kind of goes through that point. A lot of people who diet kind of end up going to extreme lengths when they first start out, especially if they get like ridiculously big and they're like, fuck, I've got so much weight to lose and everything like that. So they go through extreme lengths and everything. But that's what makes a lot of diets fail, because rather than making like lifestyle changes, people just go straight like balls deep into like eating fucking rabbit food and stuff like that, not taking proper nutrition into account, not eating their protein and stuff. They just eat fucking salads or whatever. But even then, they probably put a shit ton of salad dressing and stuff on it, the usual kind of stuff.
At the end of the day, I was losing weight, and it could have been because I had a better metabolism than some people. I could have had an easier route, but at the same time, I mean, anybody can lose weight if you just put your mind to it.
Okay. And
True.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely a choice. Excluding all the rarities, thyroid conditions, things like that come up. In general, I definitely think that.
Yeah, but even though those things come up, you can still lose weight when you have things like that. It just makes it harder. So even though, yes, it does make it more difficult, you can still very much do it.
It's everyone's personal choice. Some people do have it harder.
Oh yeah,
I myself,
100%.
I have a really hard time gaining weight.
I have a really
Super
hard
easy
time
for me to
losing
kind of
weight, to be
drop weight,
fair.
slim down. But if you're trying to pack on muscle, I feel like I'm eating nonstop, constantly.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, how much
that's
are
true.
you eating per day?
Same.
Is it a lot?
I don't count my calories.
Oh,
I just
I
have
do.
a rule: if my stomach
I
doesn't
eat
feel
like
full, I
2,800.
have to eat.
Jesus.
Okay. Fair. And how about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with the majority of what you've said, that you can change your diet and really control what your weight does. I've watched it happen with my own body over the course of my life. I shared my office with a nutritionist for a year.
I mean, I'm glad that this guy agrees as well, because it's like, regardless of what side you're on, even if you are for like fat acceptance and stuff, like surely, even if you do want to like cope and just be like stuck in the same kind of like obese state and everything like that, but surely even then you can still agree with the scientific fact that you can literally lose weight at your size. You just don't want to, right? Because even this guy agrees that yeah, you can.
And listen to him talk about things, and it is very true. You can control that, and there are different genetic effects that can have a play on things, or different conditions that people might have, like you mentioned. But I think
it's like Cushing's or something like that, which makes it like really, really fucking hard to like lose any weight and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. Or it could be like Will Turner's or something I'm thinking of, something like that. I'm not an expert, so by the way, I should have prefaced that at the beginning. I'm not an expert, but I know it's one of those two that makes it like really, really fucking hard to like lose weight, and you gain weight like really, really easily, even worse than like most other kind of what's it called, conditions that make you put on weight easy and stuff like that. I don't know.
We have to also mention the way that our food system is structured right now. Our food system is designed to keep people unhealthy, and
100%. That guy's spitting fucking facts. 100%. Our system in a lot of countries like United States and United Kingdom and everything like that is purposefully built to be like put out addictive food that people get stuck on, that people put on weight. They want you to be fat and useless, basically. They want you to be fat and stupid and consume everything and make more money for them. That's all it is at the end of the day. It's a fucking business. It really is.
To keep people fat and overweight, and to try and make people sick and put them into the medical system, where then they can fall into the insurance system. Like we have a system that is stacked against people.
He's fucking spitting facts there. I'm not gonna lie. What he's saying is not wrong. 100%. I completely agree.
Being healthy. If you look at what people looked like with what they were eating when they ate whole foods, 7,500 years ago, maybe even less. I think it really started after World War II, when they learned how to prepackage foods with a bunch of preservatives to get at the front lines.
Fucking hell, this guy's spitting facts, actually. I think this guy should be on the other side. Holy shit. Yeah, what he's saying is completely true. Like, a lot of food and everything like that is purposefully made to keep you addicted, to keep you hooked, and it has been like that again since, like you said, probably after the Second World War. Things really started to kick off when it comes to like producing food on mass scale and everything like that. It's just become insane. It really has, and I don't know. Yeah.
And that changed the way that our processing of foods was done. And I think since that point, it's become the commodization of the American people. I mean, we're essentially cattle being farmed for all of these different services to compound
it's fucked, really, isn't
rake
it?
us for money.
Okay, and I think that's a good time to bring in the rest of us.
All right.
I think that there's, like you were saying, there's so many disadvantages and ways of privilege that some people don't have access to.
But I mean, when it comes to food itself, I know that obviously food deserts and things exist, but when it comes to, say, like the information of the right types of food that you should be eating, it is readily and easily available online. Like, the thing is, like, as much as I've lost weight and everything like that, right? I had to look up everything myself. I didn't really get much help from anyone. Like, most people I know are overweight themselves or obese. I had to look up information myself, and I had to go out of my way to kind of eat. Well, we kind of already kind of knew about what's somewhat healthy for you and what isn't healthy for you in terms of, like, you know, we know that eating fried food all the time is not healthy and things like that. A lot of times it's mainly like the portion that's the main issue. So obviously I had to purposely go out and look for the right information, look at what kind of things I need to eat, what kind of protein I need to consume daily and everything like that. I had to do it all myself. So yeah, food deserts and things absolutely do exist. There are people who live in places where there's like fuck all like greengrocers and things like that, where you can buy fresh vegetables and etc. etc. I mean, it's not quite the same, but even when I was growing up, like the town I lived in didn't have fuck all there. It had like a fish and chip shop. It had like a fried chicken place. There was like a little tiny small corner shop or something. The closest like actual supermarket was probably like a 5-6 mile drive away and everything like that. It's not quite the same, but there are people who have it way worse than that. Put it that way. There are people who don't have anything like at all close to them, and they just only rely on majority a lot of the time like freezer foods and everything like that. But however, I will say that despite that, there is absolutely endless amounts of information you can look up online. Pretty much everyone has phones nowadays. Even people who don't come from exactly ideal monetary situations and everything like that, they have phones. I've seen homeless people with phones. You get me? Like, you can look up these things 100%. But I will say is that I agree with that other guy, that the system kind of is rigged against us nowadays. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like, the food and everything that they got us hooked on is all fucking absolute bollocks.
Like transportation, healthy foods. If they struggle with their mental health or physical health for any reason, they can't get access to the same kinds of foods to stay healthy or to stay thinner. Just for medical conditions, personally, I have POTS, which makes it hard for me to exercise, and also I need a lot of salt. And when I am thinner, it's harder for me to stay hydrated, so I pass out then.
I mean, I don't know about, like, if you're thinner, it's harder to stay hydrated or whatever. I don't know anything about this condition or anything like that, but I would argue that there is a lot of things that could go even worse for you if you stay overweight. Again, I'm not too sure about the condition. I'm not a fucking doctor or whatever, but I'm pretty sure being morbidly obese is just as bad for you, if not worse for you. So I don't know.
But all of those reasons, it's hard for me to believe that it is a choice.
Okay,
It
can
is a
you
choice, absolutely.
kind of explain like what POTS is?
Yeah, POTS is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And what that means is when your heart rate rises because your blood pools, and so then you pass out. But it's really important to stay super hydrated and have salt in your system to regulate your blood pressure.
But the thing is, your blood pressure is off the charts when you're more overweight, so surely it'd be more of a detriment, no? I get that you have a condition and it might be rough and everything like that, but when you're overweight, your blood pressure is all over the fucking place. So if it's about normalizing your blood pressure, surely losing weight and being at a normal, reasonable size would help your condition a lot more. So I don't know. I think that is a bit of a cope. Then again, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I do think that that's not really how it works. I don't know. Someone else is gonna have to tell me in the comments if any of you have this kind of thing. You let me know, because I feel like, you know, most conditions generally, I'm not saying they get cured or whatever, but most conditions that have to do with like blood pressure, blah blah blah, things like that, dramatically get better as you lose weight and stay at like a normal, healthier size, right? I'm not just imagining that. I think that's true, isn't it?
Also have a medical condition called PCOS.
Okay, I know a lot of people, a lot of women have that, which is, you know, a lot of people can get it despite their size. But it's like I said, a lot of times, yes, you can get it when you're smaller. Yes, most people can get it regardless, and it sucks, but you're more likely to get it if you're overweight and everything like that.
Cystic ovarian syndrome, and
damn.
it makes it difficult to lose weight as well. I'm not blaming me being a bigger gal over that by any means. Also, one thing I cannot control is how tall I am. I'm really short.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as you're short, especially if you're like a short fucking woman, you really can't eat a lot of calories and you'll put on a lot of weight. And a lot of, obviously, people who are bigger, they have like big fucking appetites, right? Big appetites. So they eat a lot and frequently. And obviously, if you're quite small and you're a woman and you have a big appetite, then it's like, it is rough. I get that. I completely sympathize with that. I mean, I'm quite fortunate to be tall, and obviously I'm a guy as well, so I can eat more and everything like that. So being tall and being a guy, I can eat a lot and still maintain. That obviously someone who's like 4'10" and they're a woman, it's gonna be a lot harder if you have a huge appetite.
And that's also a part of this body acceptance thing. It's like that is something that I can change with only one thing, and that's wearing heels. And
True. I mean, it's like I said in a previous video, body positivity isn't just about being overweight. It's about like including people with different heights and skin colors and conditions and everything like that, right? But fat acceptance, I definitely, I don't agree with.
Not the most ideal way to live, but like this is the body that I was born in.
I mean, if you're talking about your obesity or your body fat percentage, then you were absolutely not born with that obesity/body fat percentage. That is something you put on in later years or even growing up, and it's something you can change. It's harder given she said she's got these conditions and what have you, but you can absolutely change it.
And the body that I'm so accepting of other people's bodies, but it's like accepting my own without changing so much about it. It's really difficult.
I think it all comes down to whether or not we have free will. In today's society, we don't have access to knowledge. And so...
Okay, it's like I said, that's not true. We have infinite access to knowledge. We have more access to knowledge now more than ever. Even people who are in situations where they're struggling monetarily, even people in, say, like developing countries where they don't have a lot of money, also have phones and they have access to this knowledge because they have the internet and everything like that. So nowadays, a lot of the problems isn't the knowledge, but more like sourcing the food itself and things like that. That's the biggest issue when it comes to things like weight loss and everything like that. I feel like it's not only people genuinely are lazy and don't want to work out or anything like that, and people don't want to make a change in their diet and everything like that because they like eating the shit food they're eating. There are those two things as well, but there are absolutely differently like societal things where people are in fucking shit geographical locations where there's a whole lot of places where you can get good food and everything like that. So definitely completely disagree. It is not knowledge that is the issue. It's absolutely the types of food that are around us that we can get access to, or the environments we're brought up in. Maybe if you're a kid and your parents are feeding you shit food and everything like that. It's things like that. It's not knowledge. We can absolutely get knowledge if you really want to. You can just go on Google.
A lot of us don't realize the foods that we're eating is bad.
I mean, that's true as well. But you can, again, like I said, we have access to it whenever we want. So a lot of it is people just not really caring more than knowledge.
Whether or not you are eating healthy or you're eating like ramen noodles every day, we truly don't know what's in our foods unless you have that ability to break through that barrier of this is me, which a lot of people don't, especially in poverty. Like we don't have access to therapy.
It's true.
Stuff like that. Like trauma can make a huge barrier between self-awareness and blaming the world. And so a lot of people just...
I would say, like, again, I agree. It's more access to certain things rather than knowledge of certain things. Like, I know, obviously, a lot of people know that fried food and fucking and like ramen noodles and things like that aren't good for you. Like, even people who don't know shit about nutrition know that that stuff is not good for you to eat all the fucking time. But a lot of people just don't care, or they can't get access to other things because of, again, they might not live in an area that's got like a good supermarket around them with fresh food and things like that.
Blame the world and they can't accept accountability, which could literally be impossible for them.
If I have somebody that I have to rely on to buy all my food and supplies, then at that point, you don't really have a choice.
It's like I said
like an
as well,
8-year-old can
with
petition
parents and
for
stuff, yeah.
emancipation. I mean, he's kind of stuck under the guidance and values of his parents.
100%.
That's true.
As an adult, I guess it's different, but yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's why when you're an adult, you've got to make the conscious choice that if you really want to lose this weight or something, you just got to fucking do it. Like, that's what I did. I just took agency from my shortcomings and was like, fuck it, I've got to do this.
Young children, and even the teenagers, it's not as much of a choice.
What else do you think makes it not a choice for them?
Gosh, I think of like when I'm like in front of really good food, and just being like a foodie in general, like trying different restaurants. Food is how I bond with people too.
Yeah.
Like, it's in our society.
It is kind of a thing, right? Like, especially in like other cultures and stuff, like food is like really significant to like sitting around a table, bonding and stuff like that, right? Like in a lot of like say like Greek families and stuff like that, a lot of people sit around fucking tables like eating food and shit like that, and just talking, drinking, shit like that, you know. Like, it is a mad unfortunate thing, you know. It really is that we have such like an attachment to food, but I get it, you know. Food's great, food really is great, you know. There's nothing like a good fucking meal and everything like that, right? But I do feel like as society, as like a planet in general, a lot of us have problems with food, if we're being fucking for real. Like, I feel like a lot of things we do is based around food. Like, every time we go out and meet with people, it's food. Every time we do this and that, it's food. Like, rarely would many people go out with their friends just to, I don't know, fucking go for a walk or whatever the fuck, you know, anything like that. A lot of the times you'd be going out for food, you'd be going out for lunch, you'd be going out for dinner. Even if you were going for a coffee, you'd probably get a sandwich or something, you know. Like, a lot of it is food, if you get what I mean.
You go to a restaurant, you eat as much food until you're so stuffed you can't eat anymore. And that is how I eat almost every day. And it feels like I don't have the free will anymore. It freaking controls me. And to get up and have that same energy to go to the gym is really hard.
Yeah. That's the thing as well, is that the more shit food you eat, the more it kind of gets you hooked, the more it gets you stuck, the more you feel like you don't have the free will, and the more it stops you from wanting to go out and do things. You know, the shit you eat, the more weight you put on, the worse you feel. You don't want to go out and work out. You don't want to go out and do these things and everything like that. 100%. I completely agree with this, but at the end of the day, you still got to make the push to do it. I know you don't feel like you have like the control of free will to do it, but I can fucking promise you, the minute you just decide, I'm gonna fucking do it, I'm gonna decide to lose the weight, I'm gonna fucking clean up my food and everything like that, even if you start a little bit at a time, even if you don't eat perfectly, you don't need to eat perfectly, especially if you're starting off. Just eat a few less calories than what you've been doing. So if you eat like fucking 2 chocolate bars every day, reduce it to 1, and then reduce it to half, and then reduce it to a quarter, and then reduce it to none type shit. You get me? Like, repeatedly over time. And then if you want to start working out, find a source of exercise that you like doing. Like, I didn't like fucking running. I didn't like playing football, doing any sports or anything like that growing up. I mean, I played a little bit of football when I was a kid, but as I got older, I stopped caring about it, and I didn't really like doing it because I was never good at it. I could never score any goals or anything like that. But then as I got to like 23 or 22 or some shit, I discovered weightlifting and things like that, and I actually really liked lifting, and I still do. So that's something I've stuck with. So it's about finding exercise and things like that that you enjoy as well. 100%.
Where I'm like, the easy thing is to do the, eating until I can't no more. And maybe that does make it a choice in a way.
It absolutely is still a choice, as much as you feel like it isn't, because you are like addicted, basically. You are addicted to food and everything like that. You feel like it's not a choice, but it is ultimately still your choice to put that food in your mouth. Like, you can just decide, like, no, I don't want to do this, as hard as it may be.
But I feel like I don't have the free will to make that choice.
Yeah, you feel like you don't, because again, addiction is seeped into you, but you still do have that choice. You can just fucking decide no. You can just throw the food away or whatever, or have a little bit of it and put the rest of it away or something like that. You know, you can make little changes.
That makes sense. Do you think a lot more people are feeling that like that too?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that I can control. If I'm going to choose a salad, you bet I'm going to put a bunch of dressing on it to make it
I
taste
mean,
better.
that's what I said about salads. That's like, isn't that what I said a few minutes ago? I swear. But yeah, completely. I do agree with that because I was the exact fucking same, if I'm honest. Like, I know that I had a choice to stop eating shit and, you know, live a healthier life and everything like that, but I found it hard to do it, so therefore just didn't do it. I didn't have the drive to do it, you know, but then I eventually started doing it, and now I'm here, and now I'm not fucking going back.
Or the burger just looks so good. Like, here, I absolutely am going to eat that compared to the salad.
The thing is, like, if you want to eat like a nice fucking burger and chips or something like that, that's completely fine if you do that like every so often. If you're doing it every day or every couple of days or even every week, then it can become an issue. But if you do it like occasionally, like, I don't know, a couple times a month or something like that, or a couple times every few months or something, if you don't go out every day and eat shit like that, then you should be fine. Even if you want to have like a burger occasionally, like, that's fine.
Don't feel like I have control over it, that it does not feel like a choice. It does also feel good. Like, the endorphins hit me and I'm just like
that's the
freaking
issue though.
dopamine high. Like, that's like,
Because you get like that initial hit of dopamine, and you come down at the end of it because you're like, fuck me, why did I eat that? I feel like shit now, you know?
I could be addicted to crack.
Yeah.
So if my food is my addiction, which it is,
Yeah.
I've wrote like long like notes in my phone about how bad my food addiction is. Like, it doesn't feel like a choice. Like,
I
but
get
there's
you.
no place to go. Like, food.
To be fair, I completely get that. Like, she's not saying that it isn't a choice that I'm fat or underweight or anything like that. She's not saying your weight is out of your control. But what she is saying is that because we're so like addicted to it, it feels like we're not in control, that we don't have a choice over it. I completely fucking get that, and that is, to be honest, that's really quite relatable. So far, a lot of these people, they seem pretty fucking reasonable. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, we're gonna get further into it and see.
Rehab, right? It's not treated the same. It's just you're fat and that's your choice. Get up, you lazy thing.
It's
Terrible.
the easiest coping mechanism.
Right.
I mean,
You know.
there is some sort of truth to it though, because I mean, the thing is, if you're not going to do it, then when are you going to do it? Like, sometimes you do have to just get off your ass and do shit, right? Like, I do understand that sometimes some people just don't fucking listen, and they don't want to go out of their way to do something uncomfortable for them to make a good change in their life. They just want to stay the same, keep doing the same thing. So sometimes when you tell people just get off your ass and fucking do it, some people won't listen if you don't stay it, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
You know, like, I remember having a bad day, like almost weekly. The thing was, I would go when it was a bad day and I would hit a Taco John's and grab, you know, a big giant grilled stuffed burrito and the pound of potato Olays, a bunch of extra seasoning, you know, because that was like the, okay, you know, like the same feeling people describe of like having the cigarette when they've been craving it, kind of thing. I was like,
I completely get that, 100%. Like, I've been there.
Just that release of like, okay, you know, I had, you know, it just set that calm across your whole body, kind of thing.
Can I ask you three a question that disagreed?
Yeah.
Do you guys find that sometimes it's a lack of discipline more so than a choice?
It's definitely that as well. Like, there are so many undisciplined people nowadays. I am not even out here fucking sucking myself off or anything like that. I am not the most disciplined person in the planet. There are still a lot of things that I know that I'm doing wrong, that I'm really struggling to kind of change about myself, that I try to change, but I know that I'm probably not doing enough to change, type things. I am not the most disciplined person on the planet. Like, it takes me so fucking long to motivate myself to do anything. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Which can sometimes enable you into making further bad choices. I find myself with those similar struggles on things outside of the gym. How do you guys feel about that?
There's a fine line between discipline and free will, and it all just comes down onto your neural pathways and whether or not you have the capability to rewire your brain to be like, okay.
I would say that like completely rewiring your brain is like one of the fucking hardest things you can do. That's why we go down routes like therapy and etc. and things like that if we can and everything like that.
I can eat this. You know, you can have the Taco Bell, but
Yeah.
you have to balance it out with something. Too much of anything is an addiction. If you're
100%.
constantly eating healthy food, once you get a bite of, you know, Thanksgiving turkey, you're going to overindulge. And I've experienced that myself.
Specifically with going to the gym, like that is a discipline that I highly admire in people like you. Truly. I tell myself I don't have the time. I'm doing other things. I'm working.
It's not a time thing. I can say that. Like, I'm guilty of doing this too. Like, I very easily get overwhelmed with a lot of things. So a lot of the times I'll be like, yeah, I didn't have the time. But realistically, I did have the time. I just didn't either A, feel like doing it, or B, I was just getting too overwhelmed with doing too much at once that I just didn't end up doing it type thing. It's like, you absolutely do have the time. There are some people out there. I mean, we saw this guy in the beginning say, "Oh, you know, I work 14 hours a week and I managed to do it," and everything like that. But yeah, it's absolutely less to do with time and more things like discipline and everything like that. I will 100% agree, and time management maybe as well.
I don't think I would have the dedication that it takes. Going to the gym is a choice. And you guys,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that you do, but it's also like not my thing. I've tried it before.
To be fair, you don't even have to go to the gym to lose weight. Just eating healthier or walking more or something like that. You know, if you have like a dog or something, just walk your dog more, go out with your dog more and everything like that. You don't need to be going to the gym. You don't need to be banging weights. You don't need to be running, doing fucking biking and everything like that. Just go for more walks, eat healthier, and you can lose weight 100%. What's it? Although I will recommend that a lot of people kind of do lift, especially as you get older, it gets worse for you. Especially if you're a woman, you get older, it gets worse for you. A lot of women like up between like 40 and 50 or something like that kind of get a bit osteoporotic and they lose like bone density and things like that, and resistance training can absolutely help alleviate that and help you kind of age more gracefully and less likely chance of what's it called, becoming like osteoporotic and breaking bones and everything like that as you get older. For guys it's less of a struggle. We don't have the same problems. We don't really get osteoporotic, but our bones can still very much become very shit as we get older. And obviously resistance training and everything like that really does help your joints, really does help your knees last longer and everything like that.
And I don't have the discipline to stay consistent with it. So I think that's a good point, Gabe.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think for me it comes down to discipline. You know, I've been through the points in time in my life where, you know, I've been what you would consider 1% as far as physical condition, and I know that at this point it is a discipline thing. Last year, my wife and I did a 90-day challenge, and I lost 50 pounds in 90 days. So I know if I make the choice to do the things, good things happen. Yeah. So for me, I believe it is a discipline thing, but that it can very well be my privilege. It's not, you know, I have the means to be able to do it if I want to or choose not to. And like you said, food is a social thing for me. I have, you know, just today I had an all-you-can-eat buffet after a work event. I have at least 3 work meals every single week that are all-you-can-eat buffets. You know, that's our culture. You know, like I'm constantly working with people. It's just part of my job to ensuring other people having meals and enjoying themselves. And food is also like my art form. Like I have a commercial kitchen in my home because I just love to experiment with food. You know, like making all kinds of homemade things. You know, the pandemic was an awesome time because we got to make so many homemade things. You know, I just love to deal with food, and so I've always had a problem with weight. Because
I mean, 100%. What you're saying, you know, is hard because he lives and works in like an environment where they're constantly going out and eating and everything like that. But 100%, you just got to put your hands up and be like, I'm just going to stick to this. If you're around it every single day and it becomes a struggle because you're eating shit that you shouldn't be eating, you just got to kind of think to yourself like, okay, I need to stick to only eating like a handful of this, a handful of that, a little bit of meat, and I'm fucking done. You know, everything like that. You need to. It's hard. I get it. It's really fucking hard. But and if anyone around you like judges you for not eating all the fucking shit that they're eating, you know, just tend to piss off or just like be like, whatever, just ignore it, because ultimately your health is more valuable than what anyone else has to fucking say about it. You know, who cares if people are gonna be like, oh, you're so fucking boring eating fucking a handful of rice with some chicken and a bit of lettuce or whatever. Like, fuck them. Do what you want to do. Do what you have to do in order to lose weight and stay healthier and everything like that. Like, who gives a shit? Like, fuck off. Food watching people, it's weird. I know people are going to be like, oh, but you've made multiple videos where you react to what I eat in a day. But there's a difference between reacting to what people put on videos online and going up to people that you know at work and being like, oh, what the fuck are you eating there? I just think that's a bit weird. You get me?
Yeah.
I just think back to like access and like how you were talking about how sometimes there are folks that are privileged and can access those kinds of things. But for me and how I grew up, I know that like we didn't always have a ride to the food pantry. And even if we did, the food pantry doesn't offer nutritious food. A lot of the times. Also, not only transportation, there is that mental block. There's also physical blocks if you are differently abled and not able to make it to the gym or make it to the store. All of those things are really prevalent in the back of my mind because I've experienced a lot of those things. And so I think it's really important for me at least to remember where I come from and then also the privilege I have today to make more choices than I ever could.
I totally get the access because it seems like.
But it's absolutely like we said before, despite what size you have, despite what abilities you might have, you know, you might have a disability or something, you can absolutely make the choice to eat better foods and things like that. You know, it's harder, obviously, to get access to things like this if you're in shit situations and things like that, but you can absolutely make a better choice. Like, it's still a choice to do it. It's still a choice to put the fried chicken in your mouth and things like that. You know, you can put it down and have a chicken breast instead, get me, kind of thing.
Healthy food is the most expensive anytime you go to the grocery store. And so, I mean, I totally understand.
I mean, sometimes it depends what you get. Because, like, you know, some things are labeled as, like, high protein when they're not really high protein. And they're, like, double the price and things like that. You know, shit like that is expensive. But, yeah, absolutely. Like, food in general's kind of expensive. Like, I wouldn't even say it's just the healthy stuff. Like, even the unhealthy stuff's fucking expensive shit. You know, even the frozen stuff, you go in a bag of chicken nuggets and stuff like that, it isn't that much more cheaper or anything than like buying chicken breasts or anything like that. It's pretty much around the same.
Understand the access point. I just want to go back. I mentioned before I wrestled my whole life. I was not a healthy eater. I mean, try telling a 13-year-old he can't have, you know, a cookie tonight or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
And so I mean, when I was going to high school too, for lunch I was eating an Uncrustable, and I'd always get like a chocolate chip cookie. And so I mean, it's possible. Like I said before, as long as you know you're not you're burning more calories than you consume, you're gonna lose weight. So at the end of the day, I always think it's a choice. And it's not even like going to the gym. I mean, if you consume a lot of calories during the day, and you're like, man, I'm stuffed, I need to go burn a couple calories, you could just go for a walk. I mean, go outside, go for a run, and you would lose weight. And so, I mean, I'm still on the side where I believe it's a choice.
Again, barring medical conditions, every nutritionist I've ever spoken with has always said it really is as simple as how it's being put.
Yeah.
I don't say that to...
The thing is, like, weight loss is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Like, 100%.
Casting negativity, but more so to just spread like, hey, it is possible, and I don't want to enable anybody's mind to think that it can't be done.
Yeah.
More as a real positivity thing, like you absolutely can do it, and I'll accept that it's certainly harder for some folks, but
yeah, 100%
possible.
Kind of going back to some of the talk about children and stuff earlier. We've made a really conscious decision to make sure that our children are a lot more educated about food, and
that's
you know, they
good.
understand.
I respect
right
that.
now, like,
not a lot
hey,
of parents
what you're
really
eating
do that.
is not really healthy, and so they are making the conscious choice, and they understand that right now, at their age, their metabolism is allowing them to get away with the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
We've also,
although one thing I will say about metabolism argument is that a lot of people say, "Oh, my metabolism this, my metabolism that." The thing is, your metabolism stays good from the same even from when you're like 20 to about 60. So it's always going to be the same, and it's going to reduce or change depending on things like weight and everything like that. A lot of overweight people always claim this. They always say, "Oh, I've got such a slow metabolism." No, you fucking do not. If you're overweight, your metabolism is insanely fast. You're burning more weight than a fucking skinny person is, 100%. Your metabolism is so high that you could literally sit there and not eat for a whole day, and you'll be burning way more calories than someone who is skinnier and they're sitting there not eating all day. Like, if you are like I was, like 6'3", 150 kilograms, your basal metabolic rate, your metabolism is going to be like fucking 3,000 or close to 3,000, which means you're burning a lot more at a resting rate, 100%. It's a bit of a cope because your metabolism is way faster than a smaller person's.
So seen one of our children very much struggle with their own body acceptance a lot and have a hard time with that, with a lot of bullying and
yeah, and that's the thing. When you're younger, you get bullied for shit like this. Like, I wasn't necessarily bullied per se, but I did have a lot of people fucking take the piss out of me and stuff like that, or, you know, judge me for being overweight and everything like that.
And stuff, and so watching them
as a
go
kid
through that, and you know, we've helped educate them, and they've helped improve themselves in ways that they wanted to. I feel a lot more empowered now with everything I have access to. You know, speaking to what you said about knowledge earlier, you know, like I was a kid in, you know, I was born in '85, so a lot of the stuff coming out back then was new. A lot of these packaged foods were, you know, just coming out with a lot of the newest, fanciest oils and all the other nonsense that they have in them now.
Seed oils.
And so, you know, I feel like as a parent now, we do have that choice a lot more to actually educate ourselves if we want to. But the problem is there's not a good way to determine if the data is actually factual nowadays. You can go out there and find absolutely contradictory sources from fully highly credentialed, you know, PhD level.
Okay, I do kind of agree to a certain degree. Like, there is a lot of fucking people out there who are just absolute wankers, right? Who just, you know, they're trying to sell their course or something like that, so they will give you absolute dog shit exercise or food information and everything like that. 100%. It is hard to find the right sources and everything like that, but I still stand by my point that it is easier now more than ever to find any kind of accurate information or anything like that. Like, if you think about it, even 20, 30 years ago, it was much, much harder because the internet was still very young and everything like that. There wasn't that much information out there. You had to go out physically and find it anecdotally or go to a fucking library or something like that. And even then, a lot of the library section was probably filled up with a lot of old diet books that are absolute bullshit that are telling you to cut out carbs and things like that. So yeah, absolutely, there's a lot of contradictory information out there. But nowadays, it's so much fucking easier just to go online and be like, how do I lose weight? And fucking Google AI would be like, calorie deficit, calories in versus calories out type shit.
Completely contradicting in the nutrition space. And so it's really difficult to put the onus on people again when you have a system that is designed to confuse and designed to try and keep people addicted.
It does get harder
at the end of the day. It's like so many of our other
contradictory sources.
Vice systems. Food has become another vice system in our country.
So as someone I just graduated in 23 of high school, and as someone who's worked in elementary schools, I see how obesity has overtaken the system.
It is sad though, isn't it, when you see like obese kids? Like, genuinely, when I see obese kids, it really reminds me of myself, and I'm like, fuck me, that is kind of sad though, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
When I was in elementary school, we did not have snack time. They have snack time. Multiple times a day, they get to bring their own snacks. And so I
don't see why that's a thing. Like, you don't really need to be eating that much food. I get, you know, people have this conception that, oh, you're a kid. You know, kids can eat so much and burn it off and everything like that. But the thing is, like, pretty sure most, like, fucking 3-4-year-olds can only eat, like, 800 calories a day or some shit like that. Like, and the fact is they're coming in with like all these high calorie snacks and shit and eating it frequently throughout the day. It just makes them fatter and fatter. And kids are becoming less and less active nowadays because everyone's around their fucking phones and iPads and shit, which I don't understand why kids that young are having things like that personally. I didn't have my first phone until I was at least fucking like 14 or some shit. Like, Jesus Christ.
The way that these kids treat each other, and I see the way that they look at food. Being in school too, it's such a structured system. And so when you get the ability to take a break, you overindulge. And so that's just the way our system in America, in the United States, is set up and how it's been set up since the schools were established. And I find it hard to say that we have free will to be skinny or be fat, because a lot of parents don't know how to parent their children.
But that's still a free will thing. Yes, they don't know how to do it, but they can go out of their way to learn how to do it. That's the issue. You know, if you're put in a situation where you can't get out of it, that is what's called not having a choice, right? But the fact is, if you're a parent who doesn't know how to parent, you can learn how to parent. You can gradually learn it over time. You can fucking read about it. I don't know. You can talk to other people who have been parents. You can learn. It is a free will. It is a choice. Absolutely. You are not forced in a box and told you can't parent. You get me?
Due to the lack of knowledge.
But that's still a choice to go out of your way to get the knowledge, though. The lack of knowledge is not a lack of free will, if you get what I mean.
And they choose to shut them up with food.
That's true. A lot of parents do that as well, which is fucking wrong.
Can become an unhealthy obsession.
Fitness can absolutely be an unhealthy obsession. There's so many people on different PEDs and stuff like that, so they get momentary glory, but they die in like their fucking 30s because they're juicing to high hell and everything like that. Absolutely. You can also, you know, a lot of people take it to the extreme where they get things like fucking rhabdo from not drinking water and working out too hard and everything like that. Absolutely. Like any obsession, it can become unhealthy.
As always, we'll have the people that agree come up now.
I mean, I think that guy, you know, I think most people could agree that any obsession can become unhealthy, like literally anything, even if it's like the most harmless thing on the planet. If you just obsess over it so much that it's all you like revolve your life around and everything like that, it can become unhealthy and quite dangerous, right?
I know for me, my personal experience, I have struggled with an eating disorder before, and when I was struggling with that, I know that I was eating, we were just talking about like calories in, calories out. I know I was eating less calories than I was exercising out. So I would eat like 300 calories and then I would burn off 400.
Right. But hear me out. When you did that, did you lose weight? Because if not, then you definitely not eating 300 calories.
And so exercise was a really unhealthy obsession for me at that time. And I know that a lot of things influence me, such as like social media and the internet and things like the inspiration and pro-Anna and pro-Mia sites. But that's what made me think that exercise was the only way to lose weight and the only way
I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now that exercising actually contributes the least to weight loss. It is absolutely the diet that contributes the most to weight loss. Like, I don't know the percentages of it, so I could be wrong, but a massive percentage of the weight you lose is absolutely down to what you're eating. The exercise is just like the little cherry on top that helps you out kind of thing, you know. Especially if you're putting muscle, it helps you look better and everything like that. It helps you fill out more, it's pad out your frame a bit more and everything like that. But it's not necessary to lose weight. But it absolutely fucking helps lose weight and everything like that.
What I wanted to be.
I don't know if my mom will appreciate me talking about this, but my mom used to be a weight loss and fitness coach. It consumed a lot of her life for like the early 2010s when it was really popular to be in that sort of thing. And it affected me a lot more as a kid, watching her like obsess over working out every single day and how much weight she was losing. And I was just like, really hurt by a lot of it, actually. Just like it's affecting the people around you, especially your kids. It was like, I can't do something right now, or I can't do this because I have to put in my workout. And it's like putting the people that you love on the back burner because of something else, like going to the gym or working out.
I get that, to be fair. That is why we always say like the key to a healthy life is like balance and things like that, right? So it is good that she's getting out there, it's good that she's being active, but it is not good that she's doing it to a degree that is neglecting literally every other thing in their life. So 100%, yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I think for me, I usually think to sports, and then for work-related things, whether that's like modeling or military stuff or whatever. I think people can go to some very unhealthy extremes and become obsessed with it when trying to reach some of these goals, and then it can, I think,
for example, PED usage and things like that in bodybuilding. I'm pretty sure even a lot of people in military settings use PEDs and stuff like that. I don't think it's much of a thing in the UK, but I'm pretty sure I've heard a few like American soldiers and stuff talk about this, and they said that like a lot of them be using PEDs and shit. You know, they want to look like fucking Master Chief or some shit. Yeah, again, like I said, PED usage and things like that, going to the extreme to look good and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not right.
Some of it can go back into some of the mental health with body dysmorphia, where you can have people that have very unrealistic ideals, and you see people with implants that are
that's the thing, body dysmorphia and things like that. A lot of people would look at influencers who are absolutely huge, ripped, jacked, whatever choice adjectives you want to use. But the thing is, and I don't mean this to sound horrible, but you will never look like those people. You never will, because you're your own people at the end of the day, and you're built differently. You have different genetics, you have different heights, you have different builds and everything like that. 100%, you will never look like them, and that's fine. Just look like the best version of yourself. That's the thing you have to do at the end of the day.
Drastically changing their body, because they're obsessed with not just the fitness, but also the look. And so, it's a lot of that internet and what you're talking about with how that culture has been influencing much more and more. And, growing up a lot younger, that was not something that we were exposed to, really in the 80s and 90s. You would have a curated image, and, you'd have like MTV and things like that, where there was that, but it wasn't exposed and in your face and from uncurated sources and people that are your age, but from all kinds of different walks of life. There's not a filter on that, and I think that's how people can get so obsessed with it, because they just have all the access.
So, like
I think a lot of it is comparing yourself to other people's progress as well. Like, absolutely, you should never compare yourself to other people when it comes to their progress, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to their strength level, everything like that. Do not compare yourself to other people, because you will not look like them, and they could have been doing this again for years, and you might have only done it this coming year or something like that, or this year or whatever even. So yeah, 100% comparing yourself is not a healthy mindset to be in.
About 2 years ago, and when I first came in, she was like, we measured myself, and that was all cool. And I see myself as a pretty fit woman. I have been my entire life. I've been this weight for a reasonable amount of time. She measured me and she was like, you're a plus size model. And for a really long time.
One thing you've got to take into account as well is, especially if you work out a lot, see putting on muscle, things like that, you're going to be a bit heavier, and your BMI is going to be a little bit higher than your average person who's maybe the same weight but a lot more body fat and everything like that. Like, absolutely. In terms of weight, maybe, but in terms of looks, absolutely not. Like, you're definitely, I can tell she's quite a fit individual, right? Yeah, completely. Like, it definitely comes down to a lot of things, like a lot of nuance, I would say, like, especially if you're a weightlifter and you work out frequently and everything like that. Like, your weight isn't just a determining factor. Obviously, you've got to take in body composition and everything like that. Like, so yes, weight-wise, she might be a plus size model or whatever, but like, looks wise, I don't know. She just looks like a healthy, fit individual who works out a lot to me. I don't know.
That kind of just weighed on my conscience. And so I would overly obsess, hitting 5 days at the gym, calorie deficit, all of that. My hair started falling out. I started noticing my skin was breaking out, all of these things. And then again, like, I would not be spending time doing the things I wanted to do because I was consumed in being skinny. But then I was just like, girl, you look fine.
Yeah, you do.
And
yeah.
I think
That's fine.
a lot of
yeah.
people don't think that way. But my mom raised me to be a very, very disciplined woman and to see all aspects of life.
That's good.
And I am so blessed to be able to look at myself and truly love myself, but a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and so it continues to be an addiction.
You guys mentioned a good point over there about how detrimental it can be to your family life if it's all you focus on. I wasn't even thinking about that at first, but that definitely can be true. I guess I was kind of leaning towards the rich pianas of people that take things too far and inject their bodies, and then ultimately it takes their life.
He's a fucking legend, though, Rich Piana. Like, absolutely. The guy was insane. Like, I'm pretty sure, didn't he do like an 18-hour arm day or some shit? Like, fucking hell. And the fact that this guy was juicing on all sorts of PEDs and all sorts of shit as well. Rest in peace, bro. But yeah, he absolutely took it to the extreme.
Life. And at that point, yeah, it's certainly an obsession that's gone too far.
Yeah.
Social media might have a big impact where it'll make someone feel a certain way. People start to inject their bodies with performance-enhancing drugs.
Just like I was saying.
Things they don't really know what they're putting in their body. It might be some...
You get, how sad is it that you get a lot of like 17, 15-year-old men, especially, that are like taking all sorts of like different PEDs and stuff like that. It's fucked up, man. I genuinely don't think it's talked about enough nowadays, but like there's so many young men, especially with like body dysmorphia as well, and they're taking, again, like all sorts of PEDs and stuff like that at like teenage years and everything like that. It's just, they're limiting their life for what reason? Just to look a bit better. But the thing is, no one's telling them that this isn't right. People are enabling them. People are giving them this stuff and everything like that. One thing that really pissed me off recently was there was like a Larry Wheels video quite recently. There was this kid who was like fucking 15 or something, and they were talking about bodybuilding, and this kid was like, yeah, I kind of want to get into bodybuilding as I grow older. And he's like, Larry Wheels was like, oh, would you potentially be into taking PEDs as you get older? And why the fuck would you ask a kid that? Why would you ask a kid that? That is just, it's just weird. Like, you should be encouraging kids to not do shit like that, 100%. Like, whatever happened to don't do drugs, kids, okay? You know, things like that. Like, come on. Fucking hell.
Backwoods bathtub concoction that somebody makes.
Yeah.
All in hopes to, you know,
to look
add
slightly
to that
better.
workout, just because they think it's going to make them that much better. I feel like there's a certain time last year where I just kept seeing name after name of influencer that
dying from this. Yeah.
Dying, going to the hospital. I mean, I feel like for several months in a row, I saw like 4 or 5 people die. Their heart starts to explode.
Yeah, well, I think that we covered kind of all the range on that, so I guess the time would be now to bring in...
Wonder what he's going to say.
One disagreeer.
I changed my mind. Sorry, guys.
After everything that was said, I mean, I pretty much agree with, you know, I kind of agree with the topic now. But
well, could you maybe give us maybe what you were thinking originally when you're thinking like, okay, maybe it can't be unhealthy. Like, what were you thinking?
The thing that I was thinking of is, I mean, just the fitness part. I feel like a lot of the things that were said might stem from other things. I mean, maybe like mental problems and stuff like that. Or like people were saying, social media. I think it could stem from that. I mean, there was a point in my life where I was addicted to going to the gym every day. Like, it was the only thing I looked forward to with my day, and I wanted to go twice a day, 3 times a day, as much as I could. And at that point in my life, I felt better than I ever have. And so, I mean, I was addicted to it, and I felt great. And thankfully, I never, you know, wanted to get bigger, wanted to get stronger, wanted to hop on tests or anything like that and, you know, ruin my life. Things you guys were saying maybe stem from something else. Maybe there's some deeper problems that are going on rather than just fitness and somebody going to the gym.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's more the fitness itself or the external factors?
I think it could be a little bit of both, personally. Like, the two things don't need to exclude each other. Like, this person could absolutely be, like, for example, that woman saying with her mum, she could absolutely be obsessed with, you know, getting a workout in, staying fit, staying healthy and everything like that, whilst having, I don't know, like, maybe she's a bit depressed and everything like that. Maybe she's got some serious mental health issues. Like, both things can be true at the same time. But absolutely, I will say is that there is a lot of people who go to the gym who are just straight up kind of like depressed, right? They're really not feeling right in themselves, and the only place where they feel great is when they're getting a workout in and everything like that. I'm not gonna lie, I can sometimes relate to that. you know, sometimes I have like really shit days where I feel like, fuck me, you know, maybe life isn't going how I want it to go, things like that. But when I go to the gym, it makes me feel so much better. So you kind of rely on that. And a lot of people won't see therapy and stuff like that, which, you know, it's probably a better idea, you know. But yeah, I do think it can be a bit of both, though.
Probably more of the external stuff. You're using fitness as a coping mechanism a lot of times to treat whatever it is, or try and achieve whatever goal it is, or
but it can be both,
you know, that kind of thing.
They don't have to exclude
and then
each other.
a lot of the substance stuff, like it comes in as, again, not because somebody's a user, but again because they're just addicted to trying to achieve whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe just in your case it was fitness only, or was the fitness like because you were like, okay, now as a wrestler I feel the best that I ever have, that I'm going to the gym 3 times, you know, or was it just like purely because I'm hitting the gym that it was?
At the point when I started hitting the gym more, it was kind of just purely just to hit the gym. I mean, I was going with my brother and stuff like that, so I mean, had somebody to hang out with. And then eventually I started noticing changes, and so I just wanted to keep lifting. It was exciting to me at that point.
Okay,
yeah, fair enough.
Those changes, was that just physical changes, or was it also changing the way you interacted with the world and the way people interacted with you?
I would say a little bit of both. I mean, the physical changes, of course, that's I mean what a lot of people look for. But I mean, it kind of gave me more confidence. Made me feel like, you know, if I did nothing during the day but hit the gym, that I accomplished, you know, something.
I mean, that's the same with me. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, for the most part, I don't really do a lot, right? I'm not gonna lie. I go to the gym, I do some university work, and then I record videos. That's pretty much all I do for most fucking days, if I'm being completely honest. So, 100% going to the gym, you know, even if you're not doing much, it makes you feel a lot more accomplished, and it absolutely does help with like gaining more confidence and things like that. It's made me a lot more confident in myself and everything like that. I would not be making videos like this if I hadn't have been going to the gym. Oh, obviously I wouldn't, because I'd still be overweight and I wouldn't be talking about fitness and stuff. But even regardless of that, like, I have other hobbies, like I like video games and stuff like that. I absolutely would not have made like any video game related YouTube videos or anything like that if I hadn't gained more confidence from going to the gym and stopped caring about what other fucking people think. And when it comes to the way I look or the way I sound or what I talk about, my opinions and stuff like that. Because, you know, we all get our detractors. I still get comments that call me an arsehole and everything like that. I get comments that call me all sorts of things. People call me arsehole, people call me ignorant, people call me a dickhead, people call me stupid, people tell me to shut up, people say stop pausing your video, keep watching it, shut the fuck up. I get all sorts of detractors, but, you know, nowadays I don't give a shit. But back then, when I was less confident and overweight and everything like that, that would have probably destroyed me. But now I'm just like, yeah, fuck off, I don't care.
Something during that day. So I mean, gave me a lot of rewards going to the gym.
I think it has a lot to do with your gender as well, because men can handle like higher cortisol levels, and women, we can't. Like, we're meant to have a little bit of fat on our body because, you know.
Oh yeah, naturally women have a bit more body fat percentage than men. Like, I think lean for a woman, like ridiculously ultra lean, like body fat percentage is like 17% or something like that. But for a man, someone who's 17% is like just kind of around the normal kind of body fat percentage. A lean for a man would be like 10 to 8% body fat or something like that. So absolutely, that's true. But I think if I remember correctly, I remember seeing something once where women can handle like higher volume training more. That's why you see a lot of women hitting like leg day every single fucking day of the week, and then you see a man hitting it like once or twice, because we can't handle that much and recover as quickly. Like, it absolutely is a detriment. But also, you know, men are a bit stronger, so they can lift heavier and things like that. So, you know, we each have our own kind of drawbacks and our own kind of positives at the same time. We both kind of overcome each other's weaknesses, you know. I think women can handle more volume, whilst men can handle more weight and everything like that. So we kind of balance each other out in a way, if you think about it.
In prehistoric times, we were the ones staying in the caves, protecting our children with our weight. And so we would be the ones eating mass amounts of foods. And so when we're constantly raising our cortisol levels, that is just very unhealthy to us, to our brain levels, to our every single nutrient in our body. Like men.
So I don't know like the ins and outs of science to say whether she's wrong or right about this, so I'm not really gonna say anything about it or anything like that. But yeah, maybe I don't know.
You guys can take it. Nothing against you guys, but you guys can take it. And I think a lot of people that start their fitness journeys don't know that there is a difference biologically between women and men and how much we can take. So
yeah, I mean that is true though. A lot of people genuinely don't know like the biological difference between women and men when it comes to working out and things like that. Like I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's like films or anything like that. But for some reason, a lot of people out there think that like women can like lift just as much as like your average man can. It's like I'm not hating on anyone. I'm not putting anyone down, but genetically, like biologically, even women just naturally aren't as strong as a man. Like
at first, I was going 5 days a week, and like you said, it would give me something to look forward to, and I felt rewarded even when I would do nothing. But
yeah,
it affects our bodies a lot differently, as well as, you know, cold plunges and stuff, like just simple things.
I mean, I don't know about cold plunges and stuff. I'm not gonna say that it's like bullshit or whatever, but I don't know. I kind of don't bother with shit like that. I just go in, work out, come home, and chill or whatever, or do whatever else I've got to do for the rest of the day.
Things that like add to the fitness journey, like women can't do so much of that, and I wish it was like more known that we are not supposed to be putting ourselves through that. But yeah, we just can't handle that.
You said that you started to notice weren't doing anything else for the day, but you went to the gym, that you still felt good about it. At what point of you lacking on your other responsibilities, but you're only going to the gym, do you think it would still be acceptable, or would you start to dog on yourself?
Yeah, no, I totally understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I still dog on myself when I do that sometimes. So yeah, absolutely.
And you know, I guess at that point in my life, I was just a high school student, you know, so I didn't really have that much responsibilities to really care about. Or I was in college, you know, and so, I mean, college life, stuff like that, you don't really care about all that other stuff. So, I mean, it didn't affect me that much. But in this point in my life, yeah, if I was on that same, you know, kind of wavelength and going to the gym, not caring about anything else, I think that would definitely take much more of a mental toll on me. So I definitely see what you're saying. Yeah.
Do you know what? I've already spent like a long time kind of talking in between watching and everything like that, a long time discussing. So I think for now, might leave it at this. I've recorded like 3 hours worth of this footage, so I'm probably gonna release it subsequently over a couple of days or so. It might not be this week, it might be next week. It's actually my birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to me. But so I won't be editing it or anything tomorrow. I'm probably going to do another type of video again this week as well. So there's going to be editing the 3 parts, and then I'll be releasing like a what I eat in a day or something, the usual kind of content that I make as well. So bear with me whilst I edit and release these parts. This is just part 1 for now. Keep an eye out, subscribe and everything like that for part 2 if you want to see me cover that. And then eventually get around to releasing part 3 as well. But yeah, I really appreciate if you've made it this far. I really want to hear what a lot of you have to say about the things discussed here. Let me know what you think. Let me know what points you agree or disagree with, etc., etc., so on and so forth. Maybe leave like a dumbbell emoji or something in the comments just so I know you've watched it this way so far. Anyways, I'll see you later, guys. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next part. I'll see you later. Take care.